Hey guys, what's going on? Stephen Tenner here, Tenner Talk, where we speak truth and from the heart always. We're starting out right away. Evil has his hands. They don't want people to hear my next guest, so I believe I had to abort from Rumble, but we're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And this is being recorded, so I'll have to release it later or tomorrow on Rumble. I'm just going to check to make sure before we get started that we are live on at least YouTube, so we can make sure started that we are live. Okay, on. I hear that. So we're live on YouTube. Just for the heck of it. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the story, guys. So we're live on YouTube. This is being recorded. My apologies. I will put a link out. Actually, let me put this link out and say let me just put this link out and tell people that we are not on Rumble due to evil. So let me just put that out on the platforms right here very quick. How's everybody doing? The weekend is over. It's Sunday. I am so excited. I have Tina Peters, and she's been such an inspiration for me and many of you guys, and I've been manifesting this interview, so I'm so excited. We were just chatting, and some great things are coming, everybody. So hang in there, and we got two more channels to share here, and then I'm gonna bring Tina in. Let's send it over there, and let's send it over there. Cool. All right, we're all set. Wow. What's up, lady?
Hey there. Hey there.
What's
We
it's, it's great. Did you see who I got hiding back over there?
I do. I just spent some time with him.
I know. We're,
Yeah.
we're going to talk
Got
about
home.
that. We're going to talk
Just got
about that
home for a day and a half, and in the morning I'm headed out to Texas to talk to those kind folks and commissioners and such to get rid of these machines. I mean, people either they're choosing to remain ignorant or they're on the other side, because you cannot, Tenor, you can, there's so much. It's not that they're on trial anymore. There's so much information and proof out there that anybody that wants to protect their reputation and their elected position better get rid of those machines, boy.
we couldn't agree more. At this point, Tina, it's a little dark, but anyway, for people that know me, I drove the Mystery Machine around the country for almost 17 months. I was at most of the Trump rallies. It's got Trump and the Scooby Doo gang on there. It's outside. It's parked because I'm taking care of Dad, which I was telling you about, which I'll touch on at some point. But this is the word I came up with. It's the only thing that explains the people. We can't blame a lot of people because the devil has worked for a very, very, very long time. I mean, hundreds, maybe thousands of years to bring us to this point where we're at the breaking point, the final battle between good and evil. It's here right now in this place and time, and we're here for this. And as crazy as it is, what so many of us have gone through, no one like you, like I'm going to use you. Like when I don't want to get out of bed one day because of the insanity that we're watching that's going on out there, I'm actually going to think about you. I used to try to think about all kinds of things, but I'm going to think about you because you're such a badass warrior and what you're being put through and how you keep going and showing up. The arrest, losing your son who was a Navy SEAL, having cancer, the horrors of what they did with you, with your dad. I mean, the madness with this thing that they jabbed in here, the whole psychotic evil agenda. I'm going to think about you when I don't want to wake up in the morning because you are such a badass. And if you have sheepnesia, I can't blame people because I lost everybody and everything like so many people as a result of this, hopeful acting career, music career. I made these like many years ago, making real estate great again. I'm a real estate agent. I lost all of my business. Everyone thought I was cuckoo, right, for years and years. And the final battle is here, Tina. And the people that are slightly awake, if there's people that have sheepnesia and they fell subject to that brainwashing and everything, we can't blame them. Like, I even had to walk out on my engagement because she has severe and dangerous sheepnesia. It's frightening what has happened to people. They clearly think other things are happening, right? They clearly think there was an election, which rhymes with Maud, right? Election starts with an F there. I'm trying to keep this up on YouTube, right? Since Rumble's not working right now. So let's try to be careful. They throw all my shit off. But Tina, if people are defending and they're in positions, if they're in positions, right, like in government, right, they have to know by now, like you just said. I'm sorry for the long-winded, but they have to know at this point if they're in positions, and they still may have a chance to come back to the side of good and save their ass, because Jesus and justice for all. So you have a chance, people. You have a chance to do the right thing. The amount of evidence that's going on planet Earth, like, you have to be sleepwalking at this point, or like you said, you are clearly on the side of the devil, and you're going to pay for it. You're probably going to hang if you have anything to do with this. So please come back to the good side and save your ass and do the right thing.
That's right.
Go ahead, Tina.
That's right. Well, it's interesting because this has been over 2 years for me, and to see how far we've come, it has been incredible. Because I can't tell you the last time I was actually accused of being an election denier. I mean, they still put it into their rhetoric. I just had a front page above the fold article written about me in our newspaper here. I turned around in court one day and I told the reporter, I said, you owe me a commission. I said, you guys were going under. That's how bad off they were. They were only publishing like a couple times a week. And I said, until I came along. So I think I should get a cut of this. But 700 articles, front page, above the fold articles they've written about me since my time as clerk and up until now, and maybe more than that now. But so 2 days ago, of course, they had a picture of me at the symposium speaking up on stage, and it said that Tina Peters is a flight risk. And because I had asked to have my passport back for just a few hours so I could go to TSA and show it to them, because I had to have my driver's license and my passport. So they would not give it to me. They said that I'm a flight risk. I mean, I think I'm going to ask them, why don't you just come down to the TSA? It'll take us 30 minutes. You can give it to me, give it to them, take it back and put it wherever you want to. I mean, can you imagine them calling me a flight risk, Tenner?
They don't know you very well. You're not fleeing anything. You're like spearheading people. Follow me, like, right into the fire to fight this battle. Like, they don't know you very well. You're not going anywhere. You're staying right here.
Where would I go? I mean, I go out to the bank, and there's this woman that pulls up in the ATM slot, or lane, stops, runs out of her car, comes over to me, and just says, "Oh, I'm so grateful for what you're doing." And people are honking at her, leaving her car. And then
That's
I go
great.
to the grocery store, and people come up to me, and then this one guy was in front of me, because not all of them like me. Come up, he was in front of me in line. He kept turning back and glaring at me. I'm only a few feet away from him and behind him in line. And finally I said to him, "Do you know who I am?" He goes, "Yes, I'm surprised." He says, "I just didn't know you could leave the state." And I said, "Well, there's a lot you don't know."
Obviously.
So, and that's the thing that's sad, Tenner, is that these Marxists, these globalists have been able to separate and divide us in this country. And, united we stand, divided we fall. But it's not about Democrats. It's not about Republicans, because they're putting them in on both sides. They're selecting people on both sides of the aisle that are compromised. And it's about these Marxist globalists that have to take down the United States before they can usher in their global government, their global currency, all this stuff. They have to take America down.
Right.
And it's a shame. I really, because I love everybody. I don't care if my daughter's a Democrat. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, unaffiliated, black, blue, or green. I don't care. But the thing of it is we've taken for granted our liberties. And it only took me 36 hours in jail. My dad died that night. I didn't find out until the next day to realize how quickly an innocent person their freedoms can be taken away. And that should be a wake-up call for every single person. Every single person. You can't depend on Trump to save you. You can't depend on Mike Lindell or me or anybody else. You have to get involved. You have to show up and do the things that need to be done. And I can talk a little bit about that as we go.
Well, I want you, before we go, I actually want you to touch on, because I had to log out the second day Mike was giving, the plan, moving forward, at least for securing the elections or whatever. If you can, I want you to summarize that if you can before we leave today, maybe close to the end, so we can leave that with people, and then we can talk about one of my ideas that I have, because that leaving people with that idea and then coming together, because we are in the final battle. You even listen to Trump, like the people that are suffering with Sheepnesia, like the media edits it to make Trump sound like he's stupid. He's one of the most brilliant people on the planet, and he tells us everything. It's just such a shame that they can't listen to it, because he's telling us everything that's going on, And the little fun one, and I love that. Joe's shot. He doesn't even know he's alive. You know what I mean? I love that one.
Tenner, that's by design, because he's never been running this country. It's Obama and the globalists, the Marxists that have sold out our country. Money, power, and position. You can always tell where somebody's coming from. I remember when I was subpoenaed to give a deposition for the Coomer versus Lindell. So evidently, Coomer is suing Lindell for some kind of defamation of character, which the guy doesn't have any character anyway. He ran ran straight into a building, and then ran down to the bar, took a couple slugs, and then when the police saw, there are all these witnesses. He said, "No, I didn't do it. Where's your truck? I don't know." He's just a liar. So, and here in my video, where here's an innocent person that's accused of recording a live WebEx court hearing from the gallery, from the audience, and there's nothing on the iPad. I'm handcuffed, thrown in a police car, arrested. I thought they'd broken my wrist. You look at the two. But anyway, in this deposition, because I'm going through a criminal trial, I have 7 felonies and 5 misdemeanors. They've already found me guilty of 2 misdemeanors. I just got rid of that attorney because, he was working for the other side. But yeah. But anyway, so they're asking me all these questions, and I'm invoking the fifth. 491 questions, Tenner. 491 questions. I invoke the fifth, because I'm not going to incriminate myself and use it they were on a fishing expedition. Right. They asked me if I had gotten paid for selection code, which the answer is no. I haven't gotten paid for anything I've done in this movement. As a matter of fact, my term ended January 10th. And, I'm on my own. I keep, I'm asking people to go to my website and contribute to my legal defense,
which I'm scrolling.
Yes,
right now. Make sure you guys go to Tina's. All of her links are right there, because she's got this major battle, and hopefully she'll have these shirts available soon. These ripped and stolen shirts. You should do the merch for sure. Yeah. And speaking of merch, I have to shameless. This is my design, Tina. Jesus and Justice for All. Do you like the news? Because that's what's happening. These people come hats too. You can get those at TennersTribe.com. But we have a lot going on, and you actually have. I wanted to share the video. I wanted to take the moment though, really quick. We were saying you were cool with me I wanted, because people are always looking for my father. Briefly, I just want him to say hello because they think he might have died or something. Pops is right here. Want to say hello to Tina?
Hey, hey, mwah.
Pops is 88, and I was touching on you,
God bless.
touching on the story that I had when I came off the road after almost 17 months. Traveling around, going to all the rallies and stuff. That's where I found Mike. I have the mystery machine. I wake up in the morning. I would walk on the stage that Trump was on in the morning, and I would do videos and stuff. I got a lot of trouble at the next rally. Secret Service all yelled at me. Trump and everyone had to watch the videos in the morning. So I'm like, everyone watch the videos. That's great. But I'm sorry. But anyway, and Mike was standing in the middle of the field all by himself with trash. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So that's how I wound up with Mike, because the My Pillow thing. Anyway, so Pops, I told you, I have to tell this because people need to know, Satan is not just involved in, election, what you got on your shirt there. He's involved in everything. They've hijacked pharma, our natural cures. The creator didn't create us to be sick. He gave us everything we needed on the planet, energy, healing, all of this stuff. And I cured my dad with frequency healing. I came home in February, and the end of June, I've been treating him with frequency healing. I got him off of his entire laundry list of medications. Can you believe that? He's 88. When we talk to the doctors and things, when we're going through stuff, and they're like, what medications? It had gotten down to 4 from like 12. And they're like, that's it? But now I have him off of everything. I've been treating him with frequency healing. I broke him out of the nursing home, not with their rules. I had the police at the house that night, like, for taking my father out of the rehabilitation center that he was in for over 2 years, and they were slowly murdering him, Tina. Like, he's making a complete turnaround. I'm going to do a complete show, like, in the next week or two with my dad with the turnaround, and that's all with frequency healing and with this device. And we're running frequencies right now on me, on him. We've changed so many people's lives, and I always have to talk about that because it's so important. It's another thing that the devil put his hands in to keep us sick, from the Rockefeller hijacking the pharmaceutical industry, removing all natural things. There's evil at every turn. So I always want to touch on this, and I ask the guests because I think us taking our power back in every way, shape, or form, especially our health. So we have to be healthy for this final battle. So I wanted.
You don't know this about me, but my mom's 95, by the way. She'll be 95 in a couple months. She's healthy, doesn't take any drugs. The woman is incredible. But I have my 4-year degree in holistic nutrition. And
Whoa!
Something that many people don't know about me.
Didn't know that
I was totally disabled. I was a flight attendant for 11 years. 8 out of those 11 years, I never slept through the night. And I developed chronic fatigue syndrome, chemical sensitivities, fibromyalgia. I had adrenal failure, literally. Was in bed all day because I was always up all night. But the interesting thing about it is I used frequency to heal myself. Somebody introduced me to a Niken mattress pad that I slept on. And the first night I slept through the night for the first time in 8 of the 8 years. So
wow.
I know what this can do. And because of that was in 1995. Because of that, I can do what I do today completely. It just gave me my life back. And God's the one that brought me to it. And so I always say, having been disabled, having gone through lung cancer, because I was a flight attendant when those tubes of airplanes were full of smoke, and all of those things that I've done, losing my son at 27 years old, my Navy SEAL son, being harassed, by Merrick Garland and this administration. What God brings you to, he'll see you through. But here's one of the things that I said in 2016, before all of this even started, this other stuff. I said, okay, God, if this is it for me, I'm ready. I'm done. I wasn't going to do chemo or radiation. And I'm not passing judgment on anyone that does. If they feel like that's their path, that's the path they need to go. But for me, it was, and I had been in natural health for many years, and I chose not to do that. So I told him, I said, if this is it, I'm okay with it. And I had already checked out all kinds of alternatives and was doing things. And I said, but my prayer, And I repeated my prayer to him. And this was my prayer: don't let me leave this earth until I've accomplished everything you sent me here to do. At that split second, I mean, that split second, something happened in the universe, and I knew I was going to live and not die. And then that same year, I went on to get involved in the elections, walking and being a volunteer, and then wanting to give back. And that's how I became clerk and recorder. So it's really Trump's fault that I that I got it.
Well, I'm sure he's very happy about that. So what year was that you were sick?
I was sick. I became a flight attendant in 83. Well, I started with the airlines in 83, and this was in like 90, in the early 90s, 90, 93, 94. So that's back when being a flight attendant was a big deal. But
So you got lung cancer in 94?
I did what? No. Lung cancer came in 2016.
Oh,
And
2016. Of course, the timing, right when you had to tell God, I got to stay here and become the badass that the world is going to soon come to know,
I
right?
didn't
So be careful what you wish for sometimes, right?
That's right. I didn't know that's what he was going to have me do, but it's interesting when you raise your hand, and I've never had one day where I've been afraid, because I know that, if I didn't die from lung cancer, didn't go under the sheets in full depression when my son died, which I do, I love my son and I miss him terribly.
Yeah.
All the things they've done to me. I'm not a flight risk, but I want to put this out there. I'm not depressed. I would never think of killing myself. Have never thought of killing myself or doing myself off. I had to put that out there right after they were breaking into my hotel room and doing things after I revealed their criminality. And so I was sending out letters, if anything happens to me, I didn't do it.
Well, no, that's the thing. Before, so I can get rid of this, I had put a little website together just to explain, the healing and the frequency healing, and we're building a great tribe. And I should probably talk to you about this offline, because we're changing people's life with this frequency, and I'm making this a big part of my life. I want to raise money, and I want to. There's a being called MedBed in a Pocket. It's breathtaking what this analyzes the body and tells you. It gets to the root cause. It doesn't just like relieve the pain, which it does that too, but this thing is amazing. And I don't want to talk about this on the show, but I wanted people, that's the website I have with short videos right there. I want to get rid of that. I want to put your websites back, because I want people to make sure that they find you, and they donate to your legal defense fund, which is on there. And I there's stories too. It was my birthday's coming up, September 10th, and September
Mine's
10th.
11th.
Is
Mine's
it?
11, 9/11.
Of course, right? Of course it is, right? It's like a family reunion from 3,000 years ago. I don't know what we're doing here. We got to fight evil. I don't know, but of course it is. So on my birthday, I was at this very low, Tina. I'll just touch on this because of course this is happening, and you're lining up telling me things that I didn't know about you, and the holistic, and see how God's putting everything together. Do we see what the plan is moving forward? We have to claim our power back in every way, shape, or form. We have to defeat evil. We're in the final battle. Trump is saying it. It was spoken about, at the summit. I loved what Bannon said, almost like Braveheart shit and everything like that. But this is good fighting, people. This isn't going out with knives and guns. This is just showing up as patriots and fighting this final battle and claiming our power back in every way, shape, or form. And I think our health is just about the most important one, because if we're not healthy, we can't really, mentally and physically healthy, we can't finish this fight. But I was at the low. I was talking to offline how I was losing everything, my career, my fiance, everything, as being a truther and speaking out. My manager, my agent, my talent, dropping me because I was I'm talking the truth, right? Depression, heavy drinking, heavy partying, heavy, singleness going on. And just a day or two before my birthday in 21, maybe September 7th, 8th, I had a similar conversation, not so specific, like, God, what is it, you want me to do? I wasn't suffering with an illness. I was just in this, I reached the point of
Yep.
what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? It's crazy. And so many people are going through this still. this is why I want to get Patriots together for the final battle. Tina, we need to get together. But I said, God, or whoever, creator, I'm tired. I'm tired. What what am I doing? I think I need you. And I was never religious. I never, you know what I mean? I'm Catholic, raised Catholic, I had to go to Catholic school for a couple years, the whole thing. Never practiced, never buried in the Bible. I wasn't. But this time I said, I if if you're there, I need to know. I don't know what to. And I had an experience on the Thursday going into the Friday of my birthday, the 9th into the 10th, which changed my life. And I won't get into it. There's a story on my channel, on my Rumble channel, up there. But I literally thought I was dying that night. I said, this is what you go through when you're being judged, and you're either going to see the flames, come up and open up and you're going down, or you're going to see the stairway to heaven and you're going up. I literally was, it was the most intense thing I've ever experienced in my life. People called it the refiner's fire when I explain it. It was death defying, frightened.
Yeah.
And I was in a fog for days after that. I felt like I was in a 15-round fight, but I had that similar thing. And then everything came into focus, and I just was sent out on a mission nonstop. And it gets tiring after a couple of years. It's still going, right? And there's people that have been in it for a long time.
We're in a
God
marathon.
bless.
We're in a marathon, and people have to realize this isn't a sprint. This is a lifestyle. You have to understand that, like I said, nobody's going to come save you. It's going to be you. And
Right.
it's be you being involved in the ways that are effective to be involved in this fight. And that's the thing. And that's why I wear, I've started wearing the t-shirts and things. Is, you can be a billboard. I have one that says, stop the tyranny against Tina. And I wear that on the airplane, and people will say, are you Tina? And they want to know the story, or they'll say, who's Tina? And I'm able to share with them my website, which has the selection code on it and things like that, because my main thing is building the army. We can't just keep preaching to the people that already know. We've got to go out to the highways and byways and save the lost, whether they're and most of them are lost spiritually because they've chosen to believe a lie.
Right.
And so that's what our commission is to go out, not just to form our little groups where, although I love your idea with the dating site and all that you're going to be talking about, but I mean, we also need to go bring more people in that understand. I had a girl on my show. I do the Tina Peters show on Badlands, and I had this girl on my show who was formerly a Trump hater, abortion, advocate. She was every which way, atheist, everything. Now she loves the Lord. She loves Trump. She, wants to protect the babies. I mean, a total night to day flip. And there's more people out there. And it was COVID. So all these evil things, what the enemy meant for evil, God can turn it around for good. And it was COVID that woke her up, because they started telling her group, the Democrats started telling her, you can't do this, and you have to do this our way. And it was very oppressive. And she goes, no, I don't, and that's how she started seeing the light. So I believe that what they're doing is all backfiring. It's all the word a few months ago was boomerang. Now
Yeah.
we're getting ready to hit critical mass. We are getting ready to hit critical mass. And if anybody's ever been in like network marketing and things like that, it starts out kind of slow, it builds, and then all of a sudden it explodes. And that's what happened with the 12 disciples. Look at the life of Jesus and how that, and they were persecuted. We're being persecuted, but I always say, Tenor, everybody can do something. They can't get us all. And that's what we have to do, because right now, if it's just one of me out there, I'm a perfect target. They can go after me. They can go after Trump. They can go after Mike Lindell and others, Carrie Lake and such. But if everybody's standing up, either filing pro se lawsuits, challenging these DAs and sheriffs and commissioners that are not doing anything about these machines or or implementing hand counting or wanting more transparency, or, people can go to their local law enforcement, their local leaders, and call them out. They have to investigate a crime by law. And so those are just some of the things you can do.
Those are the things. And touching on what you said, I believe that because it's been a fight between, it's a spiritual battle. It's been a fight between good and evil forever and ever. But we're finally on the scales have tipped, all right, to the side of good, obviously. And we're going to reach that critical mass soon. And like you said, you have that woman that turned around, and a lot of that's going to happen. Like, she was suffering with sheepnesia, severe and dangerous. Wasn't her fault. So once she got her mind, and she got to see, and she got, that veil got removed, and where everyone's going to reach that point at a different time where they're going to see it clearly. Like, you can no longer deny what's coming. There's so much, and there's more and more of us, and that's why I believe we're winning, because we're winning our voices back slowly but surely, because the masses are coming. So, they can't take us all on anymore. Like you said, when it was just a couple, they could target you. That's why I believe nothing can happen. Nothing is going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen to Mike. Nothing's going to happen to anyone anymore, because we are winning. We control the board. Evil is losing, and we're just letting them play out their final hands. I believe the good guys know the whole playbook, and we were touching on that. I don't want to go too deep, but I told you about Derek Johnson. There's a global military operation going on. When you start to understand and you see what's going on, if you go to tomorrow, Monday morning, there's going to be hearings as usual, supposedly in Washington at the Capitol. If you go there and camp out 6 in the morning, you just drive around that Capitol, you're going to see tumbleweeds. There's a movie being played out. There's a military operation being played out. These people, most of them have all been dealt with. We're watching a movie because we couldn't know about the military operation. A select few did, but the more and more as we go on, you have to know that something is wrong. People have to be saying to themselves, that can't be the president of the United States. That's embarrassing. How can that be the leader of the free world? Tripping downstairs, not finishing a sentence, and I think they're starting to ramp up the comedy of this, because they're really trying to shake people out of their sheepnesia coma, so now we're allowed to learn what's going on. And we are going to reach that critical mass at any time. Only the Creator knows the day. But it's approaching soon, because the insanity of what's going on, unfortunately, what you continue to go through, what so many warriors continue to go through, the January 6ers that are in prison, these indictments, it's all part of God's plan. And Mike always says it had to go this way, because you can't tell people anything. We have to, unfortunately, all suffer together, and we have to put the fight in, and we have to take the broom out and finish sweeping up this final shit of the devil and put him in the trash. And we've got to get together. We've got to connect. We have to show up to the school board meetings. We have to show up everywhere, to the sheriffs, file the lawsuits, everything. We must come together. And I'll talk about my 2 ideas in a little while, but I would love for you to, do you want to, is it a time for you to share your video?
We could. I just want to say too, though, I don't want people, sometimes people get caught up in hopium. And so they think it's going to turn out a certain way. And when it doesn't, they get depressed and they want to give up. So when I was running for Secretary of State, all I knew was that God wanted me to run for Secretary of State. You can't be attached to the outcome. You don't know what the future is going to be. All I knew was, if I was supposed to be Secretary of State, I would be Secretary of State. And all I had to do was be faithful to walk that out. Well, so we're flying back from Mar-a-Lago, and I'm with Mike Lindell, and we're on the plane, and he goes, Tina, he says, if you win, that's great. He said, but if you don't, that's even better, because it will expose more fraud. And I'm like going, yeah, right.
No, it's true. It's true. And there's something much more important for you than Secretary of State. I'm letting you know right now. So congratulations for whatever it is. It's huge. It's huge. It's bigger than that.
So that's the point I want to make, is that you can't attach yourself to the outcome. You have to just go through the process and trust God that he is working all things out for good. So they ended up, of course, I was 62% in the at the GOP at the convention. I was 47% before the election in a three-way race. And somehow I came in last, but we know how we were watching full. Yeah, well, a couple places I came in second, but and my opponents were, listen to this. My opponent was the Mark Zuckerberg CTCL, Center for Tech and Civic Life director, and the secretary, one of the 5 directors and the secretary that funneled $470 million through to defeat Donald Trump and elect Biden. $470 million. They'd only taken in $1 million at any point in time before that. And another guy who was equally as bad. There were plans to make sure that the Democrats stayed in office. So, but the thing of it is you're right. Some of these things we have to go through. But I want to tell people, if it doesn't turn out the way that you think it should, that don't despair, because there is a greater plan in mind. I remember what President Trump said to me when I was down there in Florida, and he said, "Tina, when this is all over," he says, "you're going to be a hero." And
Yeah.
then he said later on, he says, "You're a hero," and he called me a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that stood in my mind was when he said this: "When this is all over, you are going to be a hero." So something in his mind tells him that this will be all over at
It
some
will
point.
be. It will be. It's
So,
written. It's
and,
written.
and and we're not privy to know insider things, but I just want to say, I don't want people to think this is a sprint. This is a marathon. You have to be involved to be part of it. You need to pray and ask God, what is my part in this? Because there's a reason you were born and you're living through this time, that you have a mission of your own that may look very different than mine or anyone else's,
Yeah.
but mission nevertheless.
It's so important, and I didn't get to touch on that, which I'm doing a little bit more lately, and people are upset with me because there's a lot of stuff, we won't get into it. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. There was a lot of psyops. I mean, who knows, with the Q, with the whole thing, and a lot of stuff actually, and I was caught up in it way back when, because I was the one talking about dates and all of these things and this hopium and stuff, and people weren't doing. People were waiting. But what happened with me, the transformation is, I came off the road in like February. I came back to New York after that whole, almost 17-month escapade. And I have one of the biggest billboards that I drive around and see. And I'll send you a picture of this doesn't do it justice. This is 30 feet, Trump's on there. This says human trafficking, election, and pandemic. I mean, right on there, the web's Sheepnesia. I mean, it makes a
You get a lot
statement.
of honks? Do you get a lot of honks?
I'm telling people, almost crashing into me, because like the phones were like this out the passenger window on the highways. I've been everywhere, and it's really, what a blessing that the vehicle, God gave it to me. We created it, graphic designers, 48 hours, rolled it with house paint, got the graphics, boom, boom, boom. Clearly God, right? And that's what I drove around in, and that's how you got the pulse of what was happening in the country, because for every one of these, which I got about a dozen of these in 17 months, everything else was people running up and pulling over in gas stations and kids, and it was so much fun. But at any rate, I've shifted into doing. I'm not waiting for stuff. I came home February. I was like, God, please don't make me take on the medical industry. I had to take on the medical industry and save my father. They were murdering. Do you know what's happening to elderly people in homes? I won't say everyone, because I don't want to alienate everybody, but you
Yeah.
know what, these
They're
doctors and
dehumanizing
they
them.
just want that giant paycheck. I mean, and I'm a beast, okay? And I had such a hard time getting through everything and alternating his medicines and saying, drop this medication and drop this medication, as I was treating him for pain first. We got rid of all his pain, got him off the opioids, the gabapentins. I mean, I have a laundry list. I have videos of the chronicling what I've been doing with my father. I came home. If I was waiting for Trump and the military to come to the neighborhood to save my father in the nursing home, he might be dead. I had to do it. I had to do it. No one came. We got to get off the couch. And I don't want people, there's people that are physically and mentally exhausted. And I love you. And I will fight harder for those people if they can't do it. Trust me, some days I don't want to get out of bed. I will fight harder for you. But if you can just share information by clicking, because if you're watching this and getting triggered by thinking I can't do anything, that means you're watching, right? So start to share, at least start to share the important stuff. Get the Patriots together. And I want to talk about Patriot Finder after we show your video, Tina, and the Great Again dating, right?
This is just the 2-minute trailer of that Lara Logan did about the movie. So for those of you that have not seen the movie yet, I would encourage you to do so and pass this on to your friends. Okay, so are we on there?
Where do they get the movie? On your website?
Okay, it's on my website, tinapeters.us.
Which we got on the screen. Okay, let's share your screen right now.
All right.
Local criminal investigations into Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters' alleged voting machine security breaches continues.
If I asked you this question before the 2020 election, are these voting machines secure?
I would have said yes.
And after the election,
I would have said yes.
what changed?
Tina Peters admits she brought in a consultant to make a forensic copy of the Dominion voting system in Mesa County.
I continue to think that our voting machines are too vulnerable.
Voting machines in Georgia and Texas switch votes from one candidate to another.
Virtually every machine was broken into.
Ballot recording machines.
Voting machines.
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 Voting machines.
Voting machines. Machines.
Machine.
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 Machines, which are vulnerable to being hacked.
There is no serious person out there who would suggest somehow that you could even rig America's elections.
We've seen no evidence that any of our voting systems have been tampered with.
The November 3rd election was the most secure.
It was the most secure.
Most secure election in American history, period.
The process is very secretive.
These machines are built by private companies, which we don't have a right to know what goes on inside those.
What did you see during the software update?
We've uncovered something that they're afraid of.
We didn't consider the machines.
The information found there is the Rosetta Stone.
They made a mistake and left the evidence in the machine.
And you can hide it as well.
It's only what the programmer tells to say.
It's literally like the difference between going from pickpocketing to credit card fraud.
These people are being selected, not elected.
It's about who gets to count the vote.
They break down my door, terrorize my family.
FBI, federal search warrant.
What do you remember?
Just my mom being handcuffed by the chief of police.
This is not what we do in America.
You could make it all go away, though. You just keep your mouth shut. You could have your life back.
Can't unsee what I've seen.
It's truly unbelievable, and we have tipped the scales. That's what the January 6th was. It was a big psyop. The FBI, the devil, the Democrats and Republicans. This isn't about Democrats and Republicans. They're all evil. Every single one of them. That's why they've been taken care of. But this is why the tides are going to turn, Tina, because there's so many of us that are willing to get into that squad car and do whatever it takes. Some of us are willing to die for this because I have faith. If I have to die I wasn't in the service. I told you I have great respect for military. I've donated a lot of time and money in the past for military projects. And God bless you and your sacrifices and your son. God bless you. I just try not to cry. But the tides are turning. God is winning. And no more. That's why the Patriots have to get together, and we have to finish. We have to show up. No one's coming. You know, the military operation is going on. They're handling big things, but Trump is not riding in on a tank to your school board meeting to save your kids from critical race theory. You have to get the fuck off you got to do it. If you have the physical and mental capacity, you have to do it. We have to get together and we have to finish the job. We have to fight like our lives depend on it, because they do.
Yeah, they really do. You know, like Mike Lindell says, if you're waiting for it to rain, it is pouring outside. And, you know, I look at this and I think the reason they're coming so hard after me is because they never expected anyone would see inside the machines and to discover what they've been doing for so long. And they need to shut me up. They need to shut me up. They used to want to kill me. I don't know if they still want to kill me, but they want to put me in prison to be a example for anyone that would ever speak out against the elections. And if you look at elections, I look at everything that's happened in this country right now. The DA that is coming after me has let off a double murderer. He's let off a guy on probation with 26 pounds of fentanyl and others with fentanyl. I mean, this is where I live. It's called Grand Junction. It's at the junction of I-70 and I-50. I-70 going east and west, and I-50 going north and south. It's a big running, a big cartel situation. And so a lot of people don't realize that your little town may be the pathway through, with some awful things, human trafficking, things like that going on. But it all stems from elections, or what I call selections, because these elected people, these selected people that are in place are making decisions that are not in your best interest. They're making decisions to keep these borders open. They're making decisions to let these military age criminals come in through our border to do human trafficking and child sacrifice, all of this, wars over in Ukraine and Russia, all of it. I mean, we had peacetime with Donald Trump. We had prosperity with Donald Trump. We had all the things that they don't want us to have because they can't take down this country with those things in place. So I just want to say this, and I want this to be on the record. We have to vote for Donald Trump. We cannot entertain anyone else, no one else, because they will not do what he will do. And that's the reason they're coming after him so hard. They want to put it in people's minds that he won't be able to serve as president because he'll be in prison. That's exactly what they did with me. They said, oh, she can't be Secretary of State because she'll be in prison. Well, I'm not in prison. And
That's right.
I'm running this whole state right now. Same thing when I ran for Colorado GOP chair. Well, she's going to go to prison. What will we do? You can't be held back by fear. If you're held back by fear of what may happen, you're done already. So vote for Donald Trump. Vote on the last day. If you already have your ballot, if it's a mail ballot, you take your ballot with you. Don't show it to them. You ask them to vote. If they say you've already voted, you call law enforcement right then. You don't leave. You call law enforcement. Someone has stolen your identity. Because if you go ahead and vote, they're going to take that first ballot that was turned in. They're going to give you a provisionary ballot. They're going to take the first ballot that was turned in, and your vote isn't going to count. So it's important you do it right then. Don't walk away. And we've got to get our true president back in and just flood. But go on the last day. People say, well, Ronna McDaniel of the GOP, the RNC is saying bank your vote. Do not bank your vote. I call her Ronald McDonald. She is not your friend. The RNC, the GOP is not your friend. They've been infiltrated because of the money. These states get money from the RNC for towing the line and doing and parroting their rhetoric. Do not do the. They say, well, yeah, but with Carrie Lake, look what happened. Yeah, look what happened. We saw more fraud. They freaked out because everybody did come on the last day. Everybody did vote on the last day. So then they panicked and how to.
Yeah, they had to perform insanity. Like they had to come up with shit. Oh, close the doors. Like the machines aren't working. It's just like we can't keep up with this. It's really amazing. But I want to go on the record, and definitely if it comes to that where we actually have to vote, I want to go on the record and say, and obviously we have to do exactly what you said if it comes to that. But I want to say that with all of this operation, the way it happens and the way, and Mike says how we have to go through these things, we have to see these things. The creator is laying everything out beautifully. They've played one of their last hands. It's clear that we've seen everything. Even if people have sheepnesia in the back of their mind, they know that everything is totally screwed up and they're going to be coming around soon. And we must fix 2020 before we even even attempt to vote again. So I believe with these indictments and the way the creator laid this whole thing out, and we're letting evil play out their complete playbook, and we're just watching it being orchestrated. And like you say, the boomerang, I mean, they're just getting their teeth knocked out with a left and a right jab at every turn. It's amazing. And because of that, and Trump having to defend himself for all this sham stuff, everything is finally going to come out that we finally have. That's the way the movie's going to go. But we have to show up. We have to fight. And I believe that collective consciousness of more warriors and more people getting cured of sheepnesia, we're going to just be able to go into that creator consciousness, and we're going to just be able to tip the whole thing in the blink of an eye. I think that's what we have to get to, but we have to show up. We have to show up. We have to get together. We have to fight. We can't have fear. The January 6th was staged to instill fear into people that you're going to get arrested. That's a foreign-owned company. That kind of shit doesn't happen anywhere outside of that 10 square, illegal corporation that's been bankrupted, by the way, anyway. They can't do that anywhere else, right? So we cannot have fear.
No.
Like you say, Tina, we are here for this reason. We're not here to be bystanders. We are here. If you're just learning that something is wrong, you have to come along and you have to start asking questions, because Tina, people like me in this movement, we have all of the answers. We have all the answers for you. Yep. We have all the truth, right?
Yep. Just pray. I'm looking at the comments in the section here, and somebody, Darcy said, vote in person. Yes. Trump 2020. I agree. Tenor. Thank you, Tina. God bless you. Love you both. And
yeah. Hey, ladies. That's all of our regular divine feminine that keep their eye on me. They protect me. Thank you, ladies.
Here's the thing, and they're exactly right. Is we do all need to get involved. We need to be active, because you want to hear at the end of your life, well done, good and faithful servant. What are you going to do with your talents? Are you going to bury them? Or are you going to go out and do it? I mean, I have risked everything. There's a lot of people in this movement that have risked everything, my freedom, my finances, and and all that. But if everybody does that, then we've got them on the run. And they're not, like I said before, they're not just going to focus in on the ones that are standing up. And I remember this, many people don't know the story about the Star-Spangled Banner. And I think it's important for you to look up the history of the Star-Spangled Banner. But just the short version of it, that flag that was still there was held up by bodies that went out there to hold that flag up, that were killed. And when they were killed, more bodies, more men went out there to hold that flag up. So when you talk about, and so read the whole story, because it's very heartwarming. It lets you know the sacrifice, of that song. Every time you sing it, what that really means. Those were men that gave their lives to sacrifice so that flag would still be there. And so and that's the thing. There's so many blood sacrifices in our military and our people that have protected our liberty up until now. And now we are the Army. And don't just look at the 2020 election. It's interesting because this was happening in the 2024 election. This was happening in the 20 the 20.
The midterms were stolen. I was in Arizona for 10 days.
That happened.
I met Joe there. I met Joe and the professor. We were protesting.
2014, 2016, 2018. I mean, this has been happening long before the 2020.
Can I pause you there for a moment, because I wanted to touch on something in the when you shared the trailer. I mean, when people, this is how crazy Sheepnesia and this MK Ultra is. The same people just a couple of years before Donald Trump came along, there they are. I mean, this is how frightening things are, Tina, how MK Ultra and this brainwashing works. This is how clever the devil is. I mean, look at this. Those people are right there telling you the machines are compromised when they were thinking something might happen for them, right? Getting ready for their narrative to challenge the elections, which you're allowed to do, right? If I remember correctly, Al Gore challenged elections and he didn't get 4 fucking indictments. Boop, beep, YouTube. But right? So, excuse my Brooklyn French. So, and there they are telling everyone they're compromised. They're this bad, 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 no good, no good, no good. Then all of a sudden, you get Sheepnesia and you can't watch that. And all of a sudden, it's the most secure election in the history of everything. I mean, people really, and I'm sorry to say it, but if you're that stupid, then you are. I have to call you out. No one can really be that stupid. You can't. It's just Sheepnesia, and it's not their fault. I love you, but anyway, please continue.
Well, I need to get on another interview, but actually, I'm doing my show, the Tina Peters
Are you?
show.
Cool. So how do they connect with that on your website?
That's on Badlands on Rumble, and it airs on Monday night. But I'm going to be traveling all day tomorrow. I'm going to Texas, so it's the Tina Peters show, and you can see some clips that are on my website. But if you go to Rumble and Badlands Media and look for the Tina Peters show, you can watch all of them. I've had some great guests. My guests are amazing people doing amazing things, ordinary people, just like the people out there right now listening to this, doing amazing things. So I always like to have a guest on and highlight what they're doing in the arena of saving our country. I've had the Operation Underground Railroad on there. I've had Steve Friend, who was the FBI whistleblower, and so many others that you have to see. Just
that's so cool. I have to actually try to throw my name in the hat, because I'm just a regular guy that drove around the country in a giant red pill billboard. Can I talk about my 2 ideas before you leave?
I love it. Yes.
So greatagaindating.com is in development, right? Because all I want to do is get patriots together, right? I lost my fiance, not like I'm out looking for, I don't have really time to date. I'm worried about saving, doing my part to save the world. But I wanted to show, can I show the logo to that?
Yeah.
All right. Can you see it?
Isn't that great?
And I got the red hat too as well. And then my other, can you see Patriot Finder?
That's perfect.
PatriotFinder.us. Everybody, we gotta get back. We gotta get together. Please go to, there it is right on the screen, greatagaindating.com. And where's the other one? PatriotFinder.us. The home pages are there. You can sign up on the mailing list. We will never, ever share any of your information.
Just sign up.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to sign up. They took my husband. We would have been married 37 years. I mean, people have no idea what they've put me through and continuing to put me through. Yeah, they had him sign a divorce decree in a nursing home with advanced dementia.
In the nursing home. You see what's going on? Tina, we've got to fight like never before. I mean, I can't tell you. There's if people had the drive and what you've got going on, like in you, if you could just share what you've got in your pinky to some people I know, if I could pull the energy just out of your pinky and send it over to them, we'll be in good shape. We would have won already. This was, I want to give you closing thoughts on there, but you agree with frequency healing. You actually heard yourself. I'd love to, when you're not busy, I actually like to talk to you about this and show you some of these things, because if you believe in it and you see what's going on, because I believe it's so important. It actually saved my father's life. It saved so many people's lives that I personally know, changed their lives. I mean, really did. So we've got that. And when we close, I'll give the people the websites again. But so we have to get together. And so the dating site, I'm honest to a fault, not super enthused about it, but the Patriots coming together, not about dating or partying, coming together to finish this final battle. We are in the final battle, and we've got to do it. We've got to do it, Tina. This lays in our hands. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what can you do for your country. That 60 years ago was written for today. Today. That's what it was written for. And whatever you can do, you need to do. So closing thoughts from you, and I'll put your links back up here again.
Well, you just reminded me of something. If people need to go back and read the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. I carry around a little booklet. You can find them everywhere in my briefcase or purse wherever I go, because that is what is the foundation of our country. And they want to take away your voice right now, like they've tried to take away mine and President Trump's and others. And when you look at the Declaration of Independence, everywhere it talks about the king, put in the Biden administration. Put that in, and you will see that the same thing that was going on in 1776 is the same thing that's going on right now in 2023. And they changed the borders, they did all these things, changed the laws. You'll read it. The parallel is scary,
isn't it? And how long did that fight go on? Was it about 7 years?
Well,
7 years.
The thing of it is with this is the people, and that's where what is the quote, Tenner, that when tyranny, somebody else.
I know it.
It is our duty to stand up to it, right? It's our duty.
Yeah, we have to.
And I took an oath, and when I'm speaking in front of people, sometimes I will have them raise their right hand and take an oath that they will swear to defend and uphold our Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. And that's where we're at right now. We've always been used to having the enemies outside of the United States because we had good borders and we had, laws and things like that. But now the enemy's inside the wire, and that means they're domestic as well as foreign enemies. And we have to start getting involved.
We do. And thank you so much. I'm absolutely, I was like a little kid at Christmas when Mermaid told me that you were coming on, and you're one of my greatest inspirations. If men can actually just figuratively, if men had half the balls that you have, we would have won already. We'd be done. So I hope that people that are hearing you for the first time, I don't have a giant platform, but I hope this video gets out there because I'm really happy with the content of what we spoke about in this video. It was a really good one. Some natural things happened. We spoke for like 3 minutes before you came on, and we did this show because when it's truth and when it's from the heart and when the creator just wants things to happen, they just happen. You don't have to plan for it. Right. And so that's why I just go on. I never really plan for a show. I make a couple of notes just to make sure I have the guests talk about things. But thank you so much. You are truly probably in my top 5. I mean, out of everyone in this entire movement, you're just such an inspiration, and I mean it. When I can't get out of bed, when I'm exhausted, I'm going to think about you, Tina Peters, and how just such a badass warrior you are.
Every day's a new day, and I just spoke at the Lindell event. I'm leaving tomorrow, as I said, to go to Texas to speak with some commissioners and speak at an event there. And then I'm going to be at the Awaken event, the Clay Clark Awaken event in Las Vegas. So I'll be.
Oh, cool! They wanted to come on the show, Clay. I have to reach out for them. That's amazing. And are you going to keep that all updated on your websites and stuff?
As much as I can. I'm traveling so much, but 12:15 on, I believe, Saturday is when I'm going to be speaking. So we all get 15 minutes. It's going to be, it's going to be a quick, but like you said, I never think about what I'm going to say. God just speaks through me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yep, that's what we do. Is that God, just give me the words. But Tina, thank you so much. If everyone wants us to hang around for a moment, too, for me to recap this, I hope to have you back. We didn't get to talk about what Mike spoke about, what the plan is in the summit, but the plan is really just get involved, hook up with your Patriots, and get ready for what we need to do, right? And plenty is going to be shown to us of what we have to do. Just get in the game some way, somehow, and get over to patriotfinder.us and greatagaindating.com, which I'll show the links again. Tina, I'll let you go. You are incredible. Mwah. We love you so much. You're just such a badass. Thank you.
All right. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.
Wow, guys, that was so cool. Tina Peters is a rock star. She is our great commander-in-chief, our current commander-in-chief. Trump told her she's going to be a hero. She's a rock star. She is, and there's much bigger and better things than Secretary of State for Tina Peters. I actually don't think there's going to be much government around when we get through all of this. We don't need the government to guide us. We can govern ourselves, just like way back when, before government became corrupt. But guys, we'd love your support, love your feedback. There's a contact button on both websites, patriotfinder.us. Let me show that to you again. Oh, I closed it actually. I actually closed them out. So you guys get the drift. It's patriotfinder.us. It's right there on the screen, patriotfinder.us. We're never going to ask for your address. This is going to work by zip code only. And we would always encourage, when you finally DM and find Patriots, a certain distance from your zip code, that's how it's going to work. We will never ask you for your address, only your zip code. And you can then direct message Patriots. And we encourage you to go out with a couple of Patriots, because we're still battling evil people. And so we have to be smart in the final stages here of this battle. So be smart. You'll hook up with Patriots, in or around. You can search through your zip code and show up with a couple of Patriots up in public while you're meeting people. Just be smart. Same thing with the dating site. If when that gets up and running and you can meet people. So there's patriotfinder.us. The links will be underneath. And there's Great Again Dating. They're both in development. And like I said, when you go to the home pages there, you could sign up for the email address. We'll never share your email address, and we'll let you know when we're launching. If you have ideas, if we have anyone that can volunteer a couple hours in the beginning to, moderate the community board for events and such like that in Patriot Finder. But I want to do another show, and I want to take this up, and I don't want to cloud this up with this great, amazing interview with badass warrior Tina Peters. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're catching this for the first time, please go to TennerTalk.com. Right on my homepage are all of my social media links. Please hook up, because I believe sharing the information that we've all been censored on, where things are opening up more and we're getting our voices back, and we need to show up. If you can't show up, if you're exhausted, if you're homebound, whatever, I love you. We'll work harder for you. At least just share information. So please hook up with as many Patriots as you can. Go to TennerTalk.com and please subscribe to all my links on TikTok and Instagram and Truth and everywhere else. I love you guys. I have a beautiful show next Friday with Ken Close, a bigwig up in the Healy company. He actually smuggled the device into the United States of America 5 years ago. So I believe he risked his life doing that. And I have him on Friday, the 25th. And we're going to talk about some really great stuff. Grounding, careful how you speak with your spelling. These are all real things, everybody, and how to tap more into your power. Because it's all about us just claiming our power, taking our power, and fighting this final battle. We are in the final battle, everyone. I'm Stephen Tenner from Tenner Talk, where we speak truth from the heart. I love you all. I'm sorry I was solo tonight. There's a lot of things in the chat. I see it's all of our beautiful women there. Hello, ladies. I love you. And we'll see you Friday night. Have a great night. Mwah.